Welcome to BibleLink. It's great to see you today. BibleLink exists to help link the Bible to real life, your life. Today we read chapter 5 of Genesis, and we get to run through some amazing genealogy. Once again, Genesis shifts gears and another source is put in front of us about the history of humanity. This time we'll look at the family tree of Adam. Any of you into genealogy? You ever checked it out before? In this chapter, this is technically the second genealogy, since Cain's was the first. All in all, if you look at Genesis, there are 10 genealogies. The biblical authors had a strong emphasis on family, and they stressed the importance of knowing your family history. There are 2 people in this list who get a lot of attention. The first is Enoch, and his close relationship with God is emphasized. Did you read the mention that God took him and he was not? That's kind of a roundabout way of saying he died, or it could refer to the fact that God just took him into God's presence apart from death. Apparently, having a close relationship with God is what makes the history books from God's perspective. Second, there's Noah. And you and I know that Noah is going to become the focal point at this point forward. Noah's name is a play on a Hebrew word that means comfort, relief, or rest. His name is a foreshadowing of the role he will play. Because through Noah, God's going to bring relief and deliverance to humanity from the horrible state it had gotten itself into. It's very different for many of us today. Oftentimes, we're lucky if we even know our great-grandparents' names. But everybody has a family history, right? It doesn't matter who you are. We all have strengths and weaknesses, and ultimately, they're all passed down to us from our families. Have you ever thought about the gifts and even the struggles your family has maybe passed down to you? When you look at the genealogy of Jesus, you'll see that some of the people we'll read about in Genesis, they'll make it in. They're the ancestors of Jesus, and all the good stuff they do and all the ugly. It makes you think, if God can take people like this and make them the ancestors of Jesus, what can God do in my family and in my descendants? Another question that's interesting in this chapter is, what's the deal with people living so long? Other ancient Mesopotamian traditions have a list of 10 generations before the flood. Some interpreters don't believe the ages are meant to be taken literally. The trend in Scripture does tend toward people moving toward shorter lifespans. These people we read about in the beginning of Genesis, they live hundreds of years. Can you imagine? Later on, people will live a common life expectancy of 70 to 80 years. It's a puzzle for us for sure. Lots of things in Scripture are puzzles for us. Now, how about a little bit of Bible trivia? Who is the oldest person to ever live in the Bible? How long did they live, and who was it? Well, do you know? Well, if not, here's the answer. It's Methuselah, who lived to be 969 years of age. Wow. Can you imagine? What did this chapter stir in you today? What did this week stir in you today as we read these first chapters of Genesis? We hope you'll get on Facebook and you'll post your thoughts, post any questions you might have, any comments. We hope you'll invite a friend to join us, and we hope that you will join us again for Bible Link as we learn ways to link the Bible to our lives.